Good morning, MPC. Welcome sa ating economic briefing. Today we have Finance Assistant Secretary Tony Lambino to introduce our guests for today.
Salamat, Yusek Rocky. Magandang umaga po at welcome sa ating weekly economic press briefing co-hosted by the Economic Development Cluster and PCOO. Dahil tax season ngayon, narito po ang ating mga kasama mula sa Department of Finance at Bureau of Internal Revenue upang magbigay ng ilang mga paalala at magbalita sa atin tungkol sa mga aktibidad para mas mapadali ang pag-report at pagbayad ng income tax ngayong income tax filing season at nalalapit na deadline na April 15. Isang pagbabago sa ating income tax filing na dulot ng train law ay ang pagkakaroon ng ITR na mas maikli at mas madaling i-fill up. Mula sa dating hanggang 12 pahina ay 2 to 4 pages na lang ang ating mga income tax form para sa individuals at corporations. Ang BIR ay nagdagdag na rin ng bagong pamamaraan ng pagbayad. Kung dati ay sa bangko tayo nagbabayad o para sa malalaking corporations sa EFPS na online system, ngayon mas marami ng electronic means of payment. Ito ay ilan sa mga ginawa ng BIR para mas mapadali ang pag-report at pagbayad ng buwis. Katuwang ng responsibilidad ng bawat mamamayan na magbayad ng tamang buwis ang wastong paglilikom at paggamit nito. Dala ng bawat sentimo ng ating buwis ang progreso tungo sa isang mas maganda at mas masiglang ekonomiya. Kaya asahan po ninyo na patuloy po ang pagsisikap ng gobyerno na gawing mas maganda at mahusay ang mga serbisyo ng pamahalaan para sa publiko. Ngayon po, para sa iba pang mga impormasyon ukol sa 2019 National Tax Campaign, please welcome BIR Spokesperson and Deputy Commissioner for Legal Affairs, Attorney Marisa Cabreros, and Attorney Emmy Macabales, Director from the Revenue Operations Group of the DOF. Kasama rin po natin ang Head of Operations for Train Implementation, si Attorney Elenita Kimosing, si Assistant Commissioner Fred Misahon ng Collection Service, Assistant Commissioner for Client Support Service, Attorney Teresita M. Angeles, and Head Revenue Executive Assistant na si Jimmy Sabala, Head of IT Services. So, Deputy Commissioner?
Magandang umaga po sa inyong lahat. Salamat ulit sa inyong pag-imbita sa amin. So in advance po, nag-distribute kami ng press statement po from the BIR with reference to the 2019 tax campaign. Pero for the benefit po ng mga nakikinig sa atin, let me take this opportunity po na nag-aapila ang BIR sa ating mga taxpayers na mag-file at magbayad po ng kanilang 2018 income tax return on or before April 15, 2019. This is a friendly reminder po para po hassle-free ang pagpa-file na ng return at they don't get entangled with the last-minute deadline glitches. And at the same time, oportunidad din po na ma-explain namin na kapag late po ang pagpa-file ninyo ng return, magpapataw po kami ng penalty. And ang penalty po is may 25% surcharge, may interest pang 12% per annum. Dahil po sa train law, nag-simplify po kami ng returns. Nandyan po sa inyong information kit, 6 po ang ating income tax returns, 6 na klase. Yung individual po na purely earning compensation, they have to use yung tinatawag nating BIR Form 1700. Yan po dapat manually i-download sa BIR website at manually i-file at magbayad manually sa bangko. However, all the other forms, yung ating 1701, 1701A, para sa mga individuals na may negosyo, self-employed, professional, or mixed income earner, pati na rin po lahat ng tatlong klase natin ng corporate return, yung 1702 series, 1702 RT, 1702EX at saka 1702MX, lahat po yan pwede pong i-file online gamit po yung dalawang available platform ng BIR, which is either the eBIR Form Package 7.4.1 po ang pinaka-latest or the EFPS facility. Ang payment po, as nabanggit nga po ng ating ASEC is dinagdagan po natin. You can manually file or pay your return, yung taxes niyo sa bangko. Pero pwede rin pong gamitin yung online facilities katulad ng Globe GCash, yung Land Bank Link Biz using your ATM or debit cards. Pwede rin pong gamitin ng DBP Tax Online Credit Card, using credit card, ATM, and debit cards, plus the usual facility po ng ating EFPS na when you file, diretso pong mapupunta sa bank, registered bank ninyo. And then, let me take this opportunity rin po na i-announce na nagbukas po ang ating mga regional offices ng tax filing assistance centers, and available din po ang lahat ng e-lounges ng ating RDO para tulungan po yung ating mga taxpayers sa pagfa-file online ng kanilang return. And at the same time, yung head office po ng BIR, meron po tayong building doon, ang tawag is National Tax Center. Open po siya mula nung April 1 at hanggang April 15, 8 to 5 para po serbisyohan ng ating taxpayers na nakarehistro sa Metro Manila. These are Regions 5, Caloocan, Region 6, Manila, Region 7, Quezon City, and Region 8, Makati. Open din po sila ng Sabado, the 2 Saturdays po ng week na yan, April 6 at saka April 13. Pati rin po ang mga bangko kinausap po namin, and they will be extending banking hours hanggang alas 5, and yung 2 consecutive Sabado po na April 6 and April 13, magbubukas po sila para tulungan ang ating taxpayers sa pag-accept ng tax payments po nila. Magandang umaga po.
Okay, MPC, may mga tanong kayo? Joseph?
And then, I defer to Justice Quiroz.
Evelyn Quiroz.
Good morning. Ma'am, pwede nyo bang masabi sa amin, may comparative ano po ba kay collection estimates for the years 2016, 17, and 18? And ano po yung target natin for this year?
Okay. Ang dala ko pong datos is, ang ating collection po noong 2017 is around 1.78 trillion. Actual collection po ng 2018 is 1.952 trillion. So basically, from 2017 to 18, based on actual comparison, we reflected an increase of around more than 10% po ang increase sa actual collection. Ang collection goal po noong 2018 is 2.271 trillion. But this year, 2018 collection goal pala, 2018 po, 2.042 trillion. Ang 2019 goal is 2.271. So that's an increase of around 11%. So ulit po, 2018 goal, 2.043 trillion. 2019 goal is 2.271. So ang nag-increase po ang obligasyon ng BIR in terms of goal allotment ng around 11%. Pero base po sa actual collection comparison, 2017 collection is 1.78 trillion. Actual collection po ng 2018 is 1.962 trillion. So we reflected 10.2% increase po, actual to actual comparison.
So maituturing po na maganda na rin yung percentage yun, yung target nyo po dun sa actual collection na kolekta natin.
Yes po. Kung ang comparison po is based sa actual collection compared with 2017, yes, we did reflect good collection for 2018 because that's more than 10% increase po. Normally, we reflect single-digit increase in collection. For comparison ng 17 to 18, that's double-digit, more than 10% po tayo ng increase. But with the goal, we are short, but however, we were able to achieve and collect 96% of the assigned goal po ng BIR for 2018.
follow-up lang po. DepCom, ano po sa tingin niyo yung mga rason or factors ba't po hindi natin na-attain yung target natin?
Okay. Maraming pong factors. Ang goal po ng BIR is being set po by the DBCC every year. And unfortunately, with the economic conditions of 2018, the assumptions po ng ating economists did not materialize po for 2018 because of a lot of factors. Una po sa lahat is ang petroleum industry po natin, sila po ang pinakamalaki po ang shortfall kasi nakitaan po namin ng shifting from production to importation. So hindi naman po nawala ang collection but nag-shift lang po because since these are importation, nandun po ang datos ng taxes sa Bureau of Customs. So hindi po sa BIR. And then second po, you know that part of the train is a new tax which is excise tax on sugary beverage and the other one is excise tax on cosmetic procedures. Parehas po yung dalawa, hindi ho natin na-meet yung expected collection goal dyan. One is, sa sugary beverage, you must remember po, dalawa po ang tax rate natin doon. 12% kung high fructose sugar, 6%, 12 pesos po kung per liter kung ang gamit na raw materials is high fructose sugar, 6 pesos naman po kung domestic sugar. So there was a shift in the product composition na most of them use raw sugar. Pagdating naman po sa cosmetic procedure, there was hindi na materialize din ang expected collection because as it is, that is one area na medyo hard to monitor because these are the cosmetic procedures. Kumbaga, as it is, the doctors they don't voluntarily flaunt that their clients did some cosmetic procedures, and even those clients will not openly flaunt that they did some augmentation. So, kasi ngayon po is under the train, subject na yan sa excise. Another reduction po is on VAT. We did not collect the expected collection from VAT simply because tumaas po ang ating threshold ng exempt sa VAT. Dati po, ang exempt sa VAT is 1.9 million. In-increase po siya ng train to 3 million. So yun po. But then, despite those factor, we were able to achieve 96% ng ating collection because we supplemented it with a lot of enforcement activities so that we arrest na mas maging malaki pa yung maging shortfall.
Question, Ina Andulong, CNN.
Hi, ma'am. Magkano po yung the target for the cosmetic surgery? I'm wondering, so how do you plan to resolve that if doctors and patients are not voluntarily offering yung information about the surgery?
Ang collection goal po for under the train for 2018 is 0.09 billion. Pero ang na-realize lang po naming actual collection is 0.004 billion. But recently, the BIR issued already the rules, the revenue regulation on cosmetic procedure to solidify what are the responsibilities of reportorial by the doctors who have performed or will perform invasive surgical procedure that is subject to excise tax. So more or less, with the more defined procedures and reportorial requirements, is ma-improve po natin yung collection on that sector.
I'm wondering, is there any conflict, ma'am, dun sa confidentiality issues sa doctor and patient pag ganyan?
The confidentiality is between the patient and the doctor, but sa BIR po, we are exempted from the Data Privacy Act because any information that has something to do with the disposition of our function, which is validating correctly proper reporting po and payment of taxes, hindi po kami barred by the Data Privacy Act.
Dagdag ko lang sana with regard to train revenues. It shows from our data that the revenues from the train law reached 68.4 billion in 2018 compared to the full year target of 63.3 billion. That brings the train revenue performance to 108.1%. So we were able to perform above target in terms of the train law. The largest gains are from auto excise, tobacco excise, the documentary stamp tax, and curiously, the personal income taxes. No? Although, at the same time, we reduced personal income tax collection because of the reduced income tax schedule. No, so actually, the government did not collect 111 billion pesos from personal income taxpayers. And that money is like a 14th month pay in the pocket of Filipino citizens, evidenced also by increases in retail sales, no, in restaurants and malls. In addition, balancing off that 111 billion that we did not collect from personal income taxpayers is still an increase in the number of registered taxpayers. No, so actually compliance increased, and partly probably because we reduced and made the personal income tax schedule more fair.
Questions, MPC? Ace? Microphone, please.
Pasensya na po, hindi related sa BIR, pero nandito na si Asek Tony, no? So I will just ask for his reaction to Justice Carpio's statement kasi kino-contest niya yung claim nung DOF na hindi tayo ever nag-default sa ating loan. Sabi niya noong 1983, we declared a moratorium on our foreign debt repayments kasi yung Bangko Sentral daw wala siyang sufficient foreign exchange to service its foreign debt. So in effect, kine-question niya yung sinasabi niyo kasi nga, di ba sabi niyo, hindi man tayo magde-default, so hindi kailangan mag-worry about yung arbitration.
Let me allow our legal department to answer in more detail. But my understanding of the moratorium back in 83 is that it was agreed with the banks. So since there was agreement and it was not a unilateral decision, the view is that it was really not a default.
So you stand by your opinion na walang default, therefore no need to worry about.
Well, again, it was an agreement between the government and the lenders.
Pero hindi pa rin nagbayad.
Nagbayad eventually, actually, kasi ang nangyari, nagkaroon yata ng adjusted repayment schedule.
So hindi default yun.
Again, it was an agreement between the government of the Philippines and the lenders. No?
Okay, tapos sinabi rin niya, well, may basically a reiteration that the Philippines would be in a disadvantageous position because kung sakali daw mangyaring arbitration, gagawin sa China.
Actually, nasagot na yata ho
he
namin ang
reiterated.
issue na ito during last week's press briefing. Malinaw po na ang arbitration location ay iba-iba depende sa loan agreement. So for instance, under the Arroyo administration for the Angat Dam loan, the arbitral venue was the same and Beijing was also the location of that arbitral venue and location. Under the Cebu BRT loan that we took out from France, the arbitral location is Paris. No? So again, these are standard loan provisions.
Okay, last na lang Ate Rax, no? Ano na lang yung reaction ng DOF kasi mukhang covered nung directive ni President Duterte to review all deals yung China contracts or yung China loans.
We will of course follow the orders of the president.
But are you confident it will stand the scrutiny of the Malacanang, yung China loans?
Well, I will not, ayokong pangunahan yung mga magre-review, but of course, we will follow the orders of the President.
Okay. Thank you, Asik.
Okay, back to BIR. RJ?
Kay Deputy Commissioner Cabreros. Ma'am, at the time when we set the goal for the 2019, which is the 2.3 trillion, did we actually expect the President to veto the general tax amnesty provision? Was that part of the considerations, factors for this goal?
On the BRR side, whenever a law, for that matter, in general, is being passed for approval to the President, we do not have any expectation if the President will veto any part of it. But nonetheless, yung ating pong General Amnesty Law carries with it an expected collection goal. So the part of the General Amnesty portion will not be forthcoming kasi na-veto po ng President. So we do have an obligation to meet the collection goal allotted for the tax on estate tax and on the tax on delinquencies.
All right. So what else are we supposed to do then since it was vetoed?
Dagdag ko lang po dun sa sinabi ni DepCom, ang general amnesty ay na-veto nga ng presidente. Yung pumasa, what he signed into law, are the estate and the delinquency amnesties. We fully support the president's decision with regard to the veto because the general amnesty should really come side by side with the lifting of absolute bank secrecy in cases of tax fraud and the automatic exchange of information among jurisdictions. Pero dahil wala po yun sa pinadalang bill, enrolled bill, the President decided to veto the general amnesty until such time as we can pass a general amnesty law that includes the lifting of absolute bank secrecy. By the way, only the Philippines and Lebanon still have absolute bank secrecy in the world and the automatic exchange of information among jurisdictions.
Do we still expect that this year or before the 18th Congress we will have a bill carrying this provision which the President vetoed?
In fact, I believe a bill has been filed in the Senate, although it seems more likely that this will be passed in the next Congress.
All right, thank you.
Okay, MPC question. Evelyn?
Another topic kay DepCom Cabreros.
Yes.
Since kayo din po yung spokesperson ng BIR, totoo ho ba yung nabalitaan ko na flexi-time pumapasok yung mga RDO? May problema po ba sa...
No. In general po, ang aming HR, just like other offices, there is a flexi time po na entitlement yung ating mga personnel. Hindi lang po RDO, even rank and file. Meron pong program ng flexi time sila as long, and then they're spread 3 timeline. Others is yung regular 8 to 5. There's much earlier and much later. Ang importante lang dyan is laging may naiiwan po na skeletal force to service our personnel. But this filing season po, full force po ang ating mga personnel kasi full service since April 1, dahil full service po sila sa mga tax filing ng ating taxpayers, and at the same time, open po ang mga filing centers at saka e-lounges. At any time, dapat ready and available po ang ating mga personnel to assist taxpayers who wish to do their online filing in the BIR premises po.
DepCom, kaya ko po naitanong to kasi po merong, siguro familiar kayo yung mga incidents of kidnapping or I don't know how would you call that, yung mga RDO po natin since last year, and 2 weeks ago meron na naman pong nabiktima ng isang RDO. Parang ano po ginagawa or ano po yung instruction from Commissioner Dulay regarding this? May action ho ba kayo? Kasi 2 weeks ago sa Malabon na Votas po, meron pong nakidnap na isang RDO. And last year, 6 po na lady RDOs.
Unfortunately po, I'm not privy to those information. But with reference to security of our personnel, meron naman po kaming program on the safety of our personnel. But in particular po yung mga minention nyo, unfortunately, hindi po ako privy on those matters.
So,
Yes, I am the spokesperson of the BIR, but I'm more on yung operational aspect of the day-to-day activity of the BIR. There are certain matters na it's the commissioner po who responds. But that one, wala po akong ma-share sa inyo kasi I'm not privy to those matters.
hindi ho ba kayo kinakabahan na parang, kasi ho security ang concern ng, ng mga tao nyo, wala po kayong plano or baka pwede po parating kay Commissioner Dulay o baka alam naman na niya rin ho kasi parang parang nakakatakot yung mga nangongolekta kayo ng taxes. Hindi ko makita anong reason ba't mga RDOs yung binibiktima, may pera ba sila, kasi nagbibigay daw po eh. And it's talagang sana ho meron kayong gawing aksyon or hakbang para maproteksyonan niyo po itong mga tauhan niyo, mga karaniwang empleyado ng BIR. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Evelyn. Joyce Balancho, DZMM. Microphone, please.
Sir, on a different topic, i-ASIC Tony Lambino. Meron na po bang recommendations or magkakaroon po ba ng recommendations ng Department of Finance sa possible veto sa budget? I believe economic managers tumutulong din to prepare the draft veto message na pwedeng i-approve ni President Duterte.
I believe the Department of Budget and Management is still reviewing the budget document line by line. And they are doing this as we speak.
Okay, MPC questions sa BIR. Joseph Morong, GMA7.
Sir, perspective lang ma'am ng filer, no? So I'd like to focus on the online. So pag halimbawa ako, ano ba yun? Ano bang pag-personal income? So galing yun sa negosyo ko, parang gano'n?
If ganito po, para madali, ang individual po, dalawang klase lang. Compensation earner, meaning kumikita ka dahil meron kang employer, so swelduhan ka. All others is nasa universe siya nung ang tinatawag nating SEP, self-employed professional. Though literally they're not professional or self-employed, basta outside employment ang kinikita nila, SEP sila. So yung returns po, in terms of annual return na gagamitin, purely compensation earner, use 1700, 1700. Download sa BIR, manual file, manual pay. Okay? Yung self-employed, dalawa po yung available na forms. It's either 1701 or 1701A. Ang 1701A is bago po yan. You could either manually file it or use the online filing facility using yung aming eBIR form package. Ang latest version po is 7.4.1. You download that program and then just fill in and choose the appropriate self-employed form. Ano namang difference ng dalawa? You use the 1701 kung yung isa muna, 1701A. Ang individual po under the train law is binigyan ng 8% option. If you're qualified dyan sa 8% option, you use the 1701A, or if you want to avail of the OSD, o Optional Standard Deduction. If you're filing itemized deduction, dun ka sa 1701. So yan yung sa individual.
Alright, so yung mga compensation, automatic naman yan sa company, no? So I'll just go to letter B, yung mga SCP. So they can download the forms online and then pay online also?
You can, yung payment po facility is either manual sa bangko or online using GCash, Land Bank, or DBP payment portal.
Okay, so you have to have accounts from, sorry, medyo...
Not necessarily po, kasi using the Land Bank, yes, you need to use your credit card or your the ATM card or the debit card. Pero sa DBP portal, you can use your credit card and other ATM cards. So not necessarily you have to have an account either in Land Bank or
okay,
DBP.
so that's easy. So halimbawa, if yung regular commercial bank, and then DBP and then Land Bank, pwede na doon, right?
Yes, ipapasok lang po kayo doon sa payment portal, LinkBiz for Land Bank, and then DBP payment portal. You just have to log in, pay credit card or use your ATM card or debit card through the DBP portal.
I'm sorry, ano yung EFPS?
EFPS po is another filing and payment platform, electronic filing payment system. Ito po yung may mga taxpayers po tayo na enrolled under the EFPS facility e-file na, diretso e-pay. Because it's seamless, they have a pre-enrolled account na once they commit e-filing, automatic po pumapasok na yung e-filing nila diretso sa pre-enrolled nilang bank account, so diretsong e-pay kagad. Yung e-BIR form package is online filing facility, but you have to have a payment, choosing your own payment facility, either manual or online.
All right, just to sum it up, trying to help you collect more.
Yes.
Pag self-employed ka, you can go download the forms online and then pay online. Easier now?
Yes, it's easier because we have offered more payment facility, and at the same time, you don't have to go to BIR. You just click submit. Pagka dinownload mo yung program, you fill it up, and then may button doon na click submit. It will be online submitted sa BIR, and then you will receive email notification from us. And then if you do not have po internet facility, yan po yung open po yung aming filing centers and lounges, ng e-lounges po ng mga RDOs para tulungan ho yung taxpayers na dun na sa aming premises, tulungan silang ma-commit yung online filing nila.
Just moving to macro, ilan yung mga dapat yung mga tax evaders na mga would you be able to quantify na parang yung mga tagas sa collection because they're not paying, either mga self-employed or big businesses? You wouldn't have that data.
I do not have the data on tax leakages, but the thrust of the program talaga ng BIR is more info dissemination, increase compliance, and make the public aware. That's why it goes hand in hand with the train mandate to simplify the process, streamline the procedure, para po hindi ma-turn off yung ating taxpayer to comply kasi it's easier for them to comply. And in fact, can I share with you the streamlining? Yung pong pinag-usapan nating 1,700 for compensation, it used to be 4 pages na form. Ngayon, 2 pages na lang. Yung 1701, 12 pages po yan dati. 4 pages na lang ngayon. 1701A is new, but the corporate returns din po is binawasan natin. Ang corporate returns, ang pinakamaraming page is that of mixed income income, 9 pages, ngayon 4 pages na lang po. So on average, nasa 3 to 3 pages po ang ating bagong income tax return para simplified po ang pagko-comply at pagbayad ng ating taxpayer.
I guess it's too early to ask this, pero taon-taon namang tanong to. Wala namang extension lagi. No? I mean, hindi pa tayo na, pag hanggat
makakahirit ng Hindi po, kaya nga po we welcome this opportunity to be with you kasi kampanya namin is mag-file na po kayo, wag nang hintayin yung April 15. Tsaka yung linggo pong yun, Holy Week na po yun, Holy Monday na yung 15. So, sabi nga namin, ang biro namin, kung gusto mong pati Sabado, Linggo mo, wag nang mahasel. Friday na yung target mo na deadline, but mas maganda, mas earlier pa. Kasi otherwise, 15 is the last day, that's a Monday, that's Holy Monday already. You don't want to get entangled with maklag yung system or maklag even magkaroon ng mahabang tao filing sa bureau. So as early as now, file na po.
Sabi ko nga kay DepCom, kagabi nagpuyat kami sa bahay dahil tinapos na naman yung ITRs namin. Early penitentiary.
Early penitentiary.
Duty yan. Civic duty po natin yan lahat.
PC, may tanong pa? Timeless beauty?
Concerned daw siya sa cosmetic.
Vans per... Vance Fernandez.
Easy, sir. Sir, let's say, kasi meron akong, what you call this, meron po akong, regarding this sa sinasabi niyo online, as said by GMA Morong. Now, yes. Kasi, sir, hindi ako maka-access yan sa online. So, pwede bang let's say, I have to drop by the BIR sa RDO manually?
You can file it manually, pero if you visit po the BIR offices, the e-lounges of all the RDOs are open to assist our taxpayers to do their transaction online para po ma-file na diretso sa system yung return ninyo. Kasi every time there's manual filing, i-encode pa po natin yan. So at least kung online, andyan na rin lang po kayo sa BIR premises, i-encourage po nila kayo tutulungan i-commit yung return ninyo online. And the regional offices po is nag-set up na sila ng filing centers in the regional office para kung dun naman sa region pumunta, they can service the RDOs under the jurisdiction of the region even if nasa malayo yung mga RDOs. And then ang head office po ng BIR, ito pong nasa Quezon City, if you enter the main premises po namin, the building on the right is our National Tax Training Center. Nag-set up na rin po ng filing center doon for all the Metro Manila RDOs. So you have a lot of choices where to file the return. And then, admittedly, we did have some intermittent signals early part of March, pero na-fix na po yan ng aming contractor. So live po yung ating electronic filing facility.
Ma'am, this 2018, as you have said before, no? Kasi as of January 29, 2019, BIR collects 1.962 trillion in taxes. In 2018, filing is about 2.044 trillion. Am I right? Do you force this RDO to get their target collection?
Not really us forcing the RDO. It's a given consequence of being an RDO because we are covered by the lateral attrition law. Batas po siya. The lateral attrition law mandates our collecting offices, not just the BIR, pati customs po kasama, that we should achieve the assigned goal sa amin because the consequence of not achieving the goal and they go more than 7% shortfall, pwede pong ma-remove kami from public service.
Pero ma'am, kasi nire-reshuffle sila pag they were not able to get the target.
And the reshuffling po is not just a factor of performance but also a given mandate in the tax code itself that every 3 years we have to really reshuffle our people so as to remove familiarity with taxpayers. So not just sa performance, pati po sa code, required po yan. It's a given administrative mechanism po ng head of office na iikot po ang mga tao.
Pinofocus nyo ba yung mga examiner? Kasi usually, there is corruption sa mga examiner sa BIR.
Kasama po ang examiner sa reshuffle because precisely po I said, not just the officers but even yung mga tao sa baba because to avoid po familiarity. And yung tinatawag na nagiging suki-suki na the taxpayer because they are familiar and close to the taxpayers in a certain locality or region or district.
Ma'am, malapit na yung election. Are you aware of the candidates to submit their yung kanilang mga expenses? Yes.
COMELEC po. Yes.
It was answered already by... Pero hindi ba pwede naman?
Yes, it's a COMELEC requirement. It's mandatory for all the candidates to submit their statement of expenditure. On the part of the BIR, let me take this opportunity to remind the candidates that there is a possible tax consequence on those campaigns. They do receive campaign funds. The election code exempts that from donor's tax. However, we did issue pronouncement and reiterated that recently na kung ang isang kandidato po hindi niya nagamit lahat yung kanyang natanggap as donation, dapat ibalik niya dun sa nag-donate. Kasi pag tinago niya yon, income po yon. Taxable po yon. Ay kailangan po nila i-declare kasi mandated po sila at being monitored by COMELEC. So makikita po dun yung expenditure.
Okay, MPC, may tanong pa kayo? Okay, pero Attorney Cabreros, nabawasan na daw ba yung mga tax evaders ngayon?
Hopefully with our visible, the campaign for Run After Tax Evader has always been a continuing program ng BIR at hindi po yan tinatanggal kasi it instills fear factor po sa ating taxpayer na if they don't perform or they don't report properly, we can have the teeth of filing criminal cases against taxpayer. And though marami ang taxpayer, konti kami, hanggat mafa-filean at may solid na case, we do file and we never stop filing cases before the DOJ.
Okay, thank you. May mensahe po kayo sa publiko. Malapit na ang...
Again, mangungulit po ako, wag nang hintayin yung April 15. Ngayon pa lang, kung andyan na, file na po at mag-declare ng at magbayad ng taxes for taxable year 2018. If you have difficulty or problem with filing, our RDOs, regional offices, and even the main office po ng national office is open to assist you para po ma-file ninyo ng ayos yung income tax return. Huwag na pong hintayin yung April 15. Ngayon, punta na sa BIR. And hindi ho kami normally nag-extend at wala hong extension na sinasabi po for this year.
Okay, kasi papasok ng Holy Week pati yung filing.
Holy Week na po yun eh.
Okay, maraming salamat, Attorney Cabrero. Salamat din kay Director Macabales.
On the part po of DOF, we reiterate po yung message ni DAPCOM Cabreros na we hope everyone will be filing their returns as early as possible. So we hope to see you po in the next few days sa RDOs natin.
Yan, nakasmile siya, ha? Salamat din. Salamat din kay Assistant Secretary Tony Lambino.
Maraming salamat po at happy tax filing season. Before April 15 po sana ay magawa na ho natin ang ating civic duty. We are all funding our priority programs in education, healthcare, social protection, infrastructure. This is funded by the Filipino people. And the tax filing season is a great symbol of that commitment. Salamat po.
Okay, salamat po. Salamat po sa ating mga bisita. Galing pa rin sa BIR. Salamat MPC. Back to our main studio sa Radyo Pilipinas and People's Television Network.